You find escalators everywhere these days, and we take them for granted. But don't take your child's safety for granted. Accidents can happen. Teach them the 3 safeguards. Stand still and don't walk down. Stand steady and hold hands. Stand clear, away from the sides and well within the yellow lines. Don't let this happen to your child. Stand still, stand steady, stand clear.
3 pints of milk cost around 35p. That's what you could be wasting every week if the jacket on your hot water tank is only an inch thick. In a year, that's £18 down the drain. So check your tank jacket, and if it's only an inch thick, put a thicker one on top. It won't stop the clothes airing, but it will put an end to a shocking waste of money. It's your money. Don't waste it. Save it.
I can't take my eyes off you.
It's quite clear that you were driving too fast to cope with the unexpected.
The faster the speed, the bigger the mess. From the Road Safety Authority, supported by Hibernian.
Only the English Channel stands between Britain and rabies. And rabies can't reach Britain without human help. If you're bitten by a rabid animal, the treatment which tries to check the disease is long and painful. And it doesn't always work. If the treatment fails and rabies does develop, it kills. So don't let selfish sentimentality tempt you to smuggle any animal back into Britain. Keep rabies out, because rabies kills people.
Three pints of milk cost around 35p. That's what you could be wasting every week if the jacket on your hot water tank is only an inch thick. In a year, that's £18 down the drain. So check your tank jacket, and if it's only an inch thick, put a thicker one on top. It won't stop the clothes airing, but it will put an end to a shocking waste of money. It's your money. Don't waste it. Save it.
Pelican Crossing. The light's green. Carry on, Joan.
Don't panic, don't panic! Captain Manning, the light's flashing. What do we do?
One continues to cross. If one's already on the crossing, there's plenty of time. Precisely. Carry on, Joan. One shouldn't start. One shouldn't start to cross.
That's wrecking, Wilson. That's wrecking.
The flashing green man means don't start to cross the road. Learn your blinking pelican signals.
Hi there. If you're a motorist, watch this space. That could be your car in a fog. Not much for a driver coming up behind to see, is it? That's better. Now, most of us who've got rear fog lamps don't need much telling to use them when it's really foggy. After all, who needs a rear-end shunt? But did you know that rear fog lights are 20 times brighter than ordinary rear lights? And that means if you also use them in traffic at night, then look what can happen. Dazzle. And if the windscreen is wet, then the driver behind could be in real trouble. Because if you brake, the chances are he won't even see your brake lights come on. So, only use rear fog lamps when there's a real danger that otherwise you won't be seen. And the rest of the time, think of the poor driver behind. He doesn't want to run into you, but if you dazzle him, he just might. Beware of rear dazzle.
At the
don't think people can afford to remain ignorant. I think you should try and find out whatever you can, because you never think it's going to be your child.
Try and find out something about drugs.
I think it's up to parents to take the responsibility themselves.
Parents really need to ask for help and ask professional people to come in and help them.
It's frightening if you've got a child who's taking drugs.
There's always the one that will.
To get advice on drugs, phone or send for this free leaflet. There is a card that does more than give you credit. It does you credit and shows you care. It's called the donor card, and it's like leaving new life to someone in your will. Pick up a donor card and then keep it with you always, in a place where it can be found quickly. Carry the card. It shows you care.
If you leave a cigarette or pipe burning while you're out of the room, or if you don't make sure that stubs and matches are properly put out, and if they're near any upholstered furniture, you could be turning your house into a death trap. Watch this test and see just how fast fire in an upholstered armchair spreads. After only 2 minutes, deadly fumes and smoke begin to fill the room. Less than 1 minute after that, if you were in the house, you'd be affected by the smoke so fast, the chances are you'd never escape in time. So keep matches and lighted cigarettes away from upholstered furniture. Remember, smoke kills.
There's danger on every road. You must stop at the curb. Only cross where you can see the road is clear. Keep looking and listening while you cross. Always use the green cross code.
Thank you, Mummy. Oh, darling. Thank you, Mummy. Thank you, Mummy. Thank you, Mummy. Thank you, Mummy. Oh.
The smoke and fumes from a house fire can kill a child in under a minute. Wake up. Get a smoke alarm.
Oh, I do like to be at the seaside. Oh, I do like... I say, Mr. Roy, what have you got there, right?
It's an inflatable canoe. I'm blowing it up.
Blowing it up? What harm has it done you? Put it down. Put it...
Blowing air into it, you nut.
Oh, I beg your ever so pudding. It's a bit small for you, isn't it?
It's yours. Huh? I thought you might fancy a jolly joust with the waves.
Jolly You're not getting me out in that. Oh, I get salt in my fur. And the waves, I mean to say, sit me up, turn me over.
You'll get your tail wet.
Brush, please. You may. Brush.
All right, well, if you're staying here, I'm going to borrow a rubber dinghy.
Huh?
And if I get beyond the wave...
Beyond the wave?
I can have a nice swim.
A nice swim? You really... Lifeguard! Lifeguard!
What's the matter?
If you swim away from a rubber dinghy, it could be swept away from you.
Oh, I see. And there I'll be.
Where?
All at sea. Boom, boom.
I do the jukes.
All right, then. I'll go and have a nice peaceful float on my airbed.
Just a minute. Hang it out.
What?
I'll tell you something.
Yeah?
Imagine, there I am, lying on my airbed, floating gently up and down. Suddenly I raise my head.
And what do you see?
That's right.
What?
The sea. Boom, boom.
That's my joke.
You can have it. It wasn't very funny anyway. Water. No beach. The wind and tide have carried me out. Help! Help!
Are you trying to tell me that inflatables are dangerous?
Dangerous? Now, did I say that? Now, did I say...
Ah, you mean inflatables are safe if they're used properly.
Go to the top of the class. But don't go out on open water when the wind and tide can sweep you out.
And don't be tempted to go for a nice swim.
Why, who is giving this information? That's right. And don't go out where there are waves to tip you up.
So what are you going to do then?
I thought I might potter over to the paddling pool and play with Horace.
Who's Horace?
My rubber duck. Come on, Horace! 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 You can't stand water, you know.
You'd hardly give a 5-year-old a bicycle and then expect him to get himself safely to school. It just wouldn't be good sense. And you'd hardly give 10-year-olds cricket bats and let them practice in front of your greenhouse. That wouldn't be good sense either. So why give a 15-year-old an air weapon and then let him play with it as though it were just a harmless toy? That's asking for trouble. People who know about guns know about safety too. At a shooting club, they will learn how to handle a gun safely and how to improve their shooting skills. So if you're thinking of giving a teenager an air weapon, get this leaflet from your local police station and find out how to enjoy guns safely. Gun sense is good sense.
Who can it be? Perhaps it's your rich Aunt Annie who you love to see outside the front door. Or your loving husband who has lost his key outside the front door. Now I wonder who it is gonna be outside the front door. But stop! On the other hand, could it be that there's a real con man who will take you in outside the front door? Or a mad bad axeman who is deep in sin outside the front door? So put the chain on the door before you let them in through the front door. So put the chain on the door before you let them in through the front door. See who's there first before you open the door. Put the chain on.
Overfill a fat pan. And this could be the result. Make sure your fat pan is never more than half full.
Over the centuries, fire lighting has become an everyday occurrence. Today, if you have the knack, it's possible to start a fire with only one match. More sophisticated firelighters take delight in the intricacies of pressure or spirit stoves. Fire is lethal when left to its own devices. It will destroy all in its path. Moors, woodland, young plantations, wildlife, farmlands, and livestock. All can be lost in a short time through carelessness. Follow the country code and make sure you guard against all risk of fire.
Come on. Get your eyes tested, Napoleon. Can't you see the lights are changed?
The flashing amber light on the Pelican Crossing means you can only go to crossing clear, Miss Rogers.
Well, I'll soon clear it, all right.
You're not meant to edge forward and harass the pedestrians.
Who says so, the vicar? Actually, sir, no. I say so. Oh.
The flashing amber light means don't go unless the crossing's clear. Learn your blinking pelican signals.
Lovely animals, aren't they? Isn't it a shame that diseases like foul pest, swine fever and foot and mouth can decimate the nation's livestock? In one foot and mouth epidemic, we slaughtered and destroyed over 200,000 cattle, 100,000 sheep and 113,000 pigs. Now, one of the main risks to animals is uncooked food and scraps getting into their feed. On the farm, we boil it all, but that's a specialised job. When you get uncooked scraps like these, you should dispose of them safely, like this, and never let them get to farm animals. Isn't that right?
When you fly your kite or model plane, remember you're in charge of a flying machine. Pilots have to observe safety rules. So must you. Make sure there are no pylons, overhead lines, or electric substations around.
Go!
Control lines, even if made of string or nylon, can conduct electricity, especially when they're wet.
Watch out!
Delta Zero Bravo, you are clear to take off.
Always make sure you're in a clear area to take off. Then you'll fly safe and play safe.
Shall I tell you about my life? Say I'm a man of the world. I've flown across every time, and I've seen lots of pretty girls. Yes, I've got everything I need. I would never. And there's no one I'd rather be.
Never ever drink and drive. Could you live with the shame? DOE is supported by AXA Insurance.
Some things just don't mix. These, for instance, don't try mixing them on your car. Don't mix cross-ply and radial tires on the same axle. And don't use cross-ply on the rear if you've got radials on the front. Remember, cross-ply and radial tires. Just don't mix.
Can you imagine being frightened of every friendly animal you meet? Imagine rabies in Britain. All dogs will be leashed and muzzled. Foxes will be destroyed. Wildlife at risk. No animal may be moved in or out of the infected area. All cats will be restrained.
Go away! Get off! Get off!
Just one animal smuggled in could lead to all this. So if you suspect anyone of smuggling, tell the police. If rabies breaks out, any animal found loose will be seized, taken away, and if it is not claimed, destroyed. Rabies is a killer. We must keep rabies out.
No daughter of mine running round.
If you do nothing but sit in front of the TV,
I shouldn't be doing this, really.
you increase the risk of a crippling heart attack. But you don't have to do yourself in to do yourself good. Build up a gentle program of exercise and enjoy it. Because it doesn't have to be hell to be healthy.